Alright, so I'm doing a challenge trying to platinum every single game inside of the Ubisoft Plus game catalog on PlayStation. And if I can't do it before we hit 690,000 subscribers on YouTube, then I have to tattoo the platinum logo somewhere on my body. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. So it was brought to my attention in the AC3 video I posted a week ago that Assassin's Creed Liberation is actually a thing and a part of Assassin's Creed 3. However, it was given a platinum trophy for some odd reason, even though the game's main story only takes like 6 hours to beat, and the platinum takes around 15 hours to get overall, which is by far the fastest in the entire franchise. Do I hear a DLC game chant right now? I should, because this game is not a game, it's just not.
That's what I'm saying.
But I did platinum it today because I can't just not get one Assassin's Creed platinum trophy. Like, sure, this franchise is a sin, but that would be even more of a sin. So Assassin's Creed Liberation has a minuscule amount of 31 trophies inside, including the platinum, with only 8 being directly from the story actions. The first stage to the platinum trophy is to just, as usual, beat the story whilst also doing all of the optional objectives within each sequence. Thankfully, this game's optional objectives aren't really a challenge, to be honest. So first opens up with you as the main character when she is a child still. And I should also mention that Assassin's Creed Liberation isn't in relation to anything within Desmond's storyline like the last few videos have been. It's actually about a product that Abstergo, the evil company, made where you can re-experience historical events. Not sure what historical event this game ever touched on, but it must have been one of those irrelevant ones. Anyways, as we played Kid Simulator, we ended up chasing after a cock. Okay, this is a bad joke to have with kids. I'm not trying to pull a doctor, you know what I'm saying? Long story short, though, we couldn't catch the chicken and then also lost our mother in the process. So now we are an orphan, I guess. Who really knows, though? This game is kind of weird. We then got a flash forward to us in the present time and also began the game's typical tutorial section where they teach us how to use the horrible combat system that all of these older Assassin's Creed games have. And I hate. Oh yeah, the main character is also a part of a very wealthy family that took us in, and we cosplay between an assassin, slave, and a well-respected woman of society. This is actually the only unique thing about this game, and somehow it still manages to become annoying later on. But the next part of this game had us climb a tall tower to sync the first viewpoints and get a title screen like lots of other Assassin's Creed games have. I then got to change into our slave outfit for the first time. Kinda racist, but it's okay, the Ubisoft dev team is full of color. We then used that disguise to sneak into a plantation, which is kind of what we do all game long. Just sneak into places dressed up in different costumes and take out mean people, mostly being slave owners. I'm starting to see what historical events this game is touching on now. Anyways, the first trophy I got in this game was actually from just buying a clothing change place, where we can change into the 3 outfits I've talked about earlier. And there's also a trophy later on from buying all of these totals, so keep that in mind. Actually, if you don't want to, I understand, this game is complete balls. About an hour into the game's story, however, I did finally kill my first assassin target, and it was some governor guy with extremely real hair that totally does not look fake at all. Low-key, I need to hit up his barber. I'm looking cooked right now. But since we just took out a major political figure, a few people cared and actually chased us all the way out into the bayou. But after I fought them off, it actually ended the first sequence of the game, and we got a trophy from that. I then made my way into the swamp, which I'm just gonna call it that from now on. But I had an initial mission trying to track down this dude who plays a big part of the story, if you could call it that. And once I found him, I got another trophy from doing that. We then began the swamp storyline for this next sequence and had a mission right away, which made us just sort of barge into an enemy base and start killing people. But hey, at least it's not a fetch or a tail mission, am I right? Don't worry, there's like 20 of those later on. However, right here in the combat, I ended up using a poison dart for the first time, and after getting a kill with it, I got a trophy from that. Those poison darts, by the way, are crazy overpowered, and I love them. Speaking of tailing missions, I got one shortly after that combat mission we just did, and it had me tail some dude named the Acolyte. Now, if you're a Star Wars fan, you probably just died inside from hearing that word, and it's understandable. This game's Acolyte isn't any better than the Star Wars one. What a masterclass. I then did the last mission for sequence 2 pretty much, and it had me just assassinate a guy named the fake Mackendall. I don't even know who the real one is, but he sounds like a mac and cheese brand. And here is that sequence 2 trophy after the cutscenes followed. The next trophy I got was then just from finishing sequence 4. Now yes, I know what you're thinking. Wow, what about sequence 3? Yeah, the game just skipped it. Don't know why. But these sequences had us swap back and forth between the swamp and New Orleans all the time. It almost made me feel like the head cheerleader just getting passed around. It was crazy. Eventually though, we would stick in some temple place where multiple missions took place in. And we got to travel through a cave full of nothing until making it to a room with an artifact in it. There was also a little puzzle here, but if you seriously can't figure this out, you might have accidentally had a lobotomy because it's so simple. And of course, once we grabbed the artifact, the enemies just walked in because this is Assassin's Creed and this always happens. However, the optional objective in this fight was to not take any damage damage, and with this game's combat system, that is actually very hard because better enemies you cannot hit or really do anything with. And it's also very challenging to tell what to do, and I died/reset very many times here. I'm actually quite ashamed of my performance, and I promise to do better next time. Eventually though, I did get it, and that wasn't actually it for the mission because now we have to just leave the cave. And the only path to leave apparently got struck by the Indiana Jones machine since there was just boulders falling down right in front of us. I don't think I've ever seen such a blatantly uncreative game in my life, aside from Watch Dogs Legion, but I'm not trying to throw shots. So yeah, once I made it past that I did get a trophy from Sequence 4, which would be cool if I didn't hate this game now. And the next few trophies I got were all story related as a matter of fact, because there really isn't a lot of combat trophies that can be gotten easily without directly going for them. And come on, there's only 31 trophies total, it's not like the list is very big to begin with. But the next two sequences mostly took place in the swamp again, and it just had us do a few missions, but most of the time spent here is actually from traveling to objectives, since the swamp is very inconvenient to travel around in. But sequence 6 would end up concluding with us again breaking into a cave and an important relic artifact area. A little bit predictable, don't you think? Yeah. Then again, that is just Assassin's Creed, and nobody can say these games aren't predictable. Oh my god! Anyways, after the artifact crap again, we got the trophy from finishing Sequence 6. Sequence 7 was then more swamp crap and typical Assassin's Creed Liberation boredom. But, Sequence 8 did have us do something cool for once, and we got to go meet up with and team up with Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. No, we didn't ever get to play as him, but we did hook up and it was lit. This sequence also mostly had us just breaking into a big fort in the winter biome to, well, kill everyone. Yes, that's graphic, but it's the truth. Anyways, once all the murder was over with, we finished the sequence and there's the trophy from it. We then pretty much just reached the ending for the game and only had like one more mission left. This mission though was one of the most annoying in the entire game, and it's only because of the optional objective on it. You cannot take damage at all through, I think it was 5 different combat sections against 3 or 4 enemies every time. And I hadn't figured out yet how to buy smoke bombs, so I only had like 3 of them, which meant I had to deal with a few combat sections all on my own. Oh yeah, and you also have to beat them all in 2 minutes. Now again, this game's combat sucks, especially with harder enemies, and remembering what enemies allow you to attack and don't plays a big part here, because if you accidentally attack an enemy that you're not supposed to, you get hit and take damage, therefore losing the objective. I was also being a stubborn bitch and refused to take the L, so I sat here for literally half an hour restarting before finally getting it. We then got sent to some weird simulation room where we had to hunt down and assassinate a Citizen E or something like that. These people are pretty much just breaks in the coding and expose the real ending to the game later on, but this one was required for the story. And once I got the dude, it ended the game and gave me a trophy. There was then one last battle, and it was against a lady named Madeline. Now this fight section also had a no damage objective, which was a bit hard, but since I just suffered for so long, I got decent at the game's BS combat system and was able to beat her in only a few tries. We then saw an ending cutscene with some mystical artifact nonsense and the credits rolled. Nobody cares who made this game, I didn't even know it existed, and I kind of feel bad for making you guys know it does now. But here is that 100% sync mission trophy I've been slaving over, so epic victory royale, I guess. Anyways, now it's stage 2, which as the guide describes is just the cleanup and platinum stage. Most of the time spent here though is from getting collectibles, which I did pretty early on, but not first. First I went after the remaining Citizen E people I missed, who are sort of just scattered throughout this game's open world map, and it's also kind of aids to find them because this game's map system is ass, and there's no fast travel except for like 2 places. But I did do it after 40 minutes of running in circles, so here is that trophy from getting them all. I then really strapped in to do the collectibles next, and this game does have quite a few collectibles, but if you use maps to find them online, it's not bad at all. It does still take a few hours to be honest though, but it could be worse. I did end up pausing to buy some ships from the ship trade thing that this game had so I could get more money, because that's always fun. And here's the trophy from buying each type of ship this game has to offer. Now before getting the collectible trophies, I ended up getting the trophy from all viewpoints first. This is sort of a collectible, but it's not, so yeah. I did have to go back into a mission by the way to find one statue I missed before getting the first collectible trophy of the day, and I did it, so here it is. I then had to return to the swamp also because I missed something, and while here I also bought my last dressing chamber for that trophy gotten from getting them all I mentioned in the beginning of this video. And after I robbed the local tribesman, I also got every collectible in the game for the last collectible trophy right here. Thank God we are done with that. I just love getting collectibles. So before doing any fast combat trophies, I first did all of these side quest trophies next. There's actually a good amount of side quests in this game for each type of outfit you have. Thankfully they aren't all that long, and most are very similar, but you pretty much just have to assassinate some guy or steal something, and that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna put all these trophies in right here because they're super simple as I've said, and I don't really care to talk about each little tiny job we went on doing them. Alright, now that all the boredom is actually done, let's go through these combat trophies because they take up about 1/3 of the trophies in this game, and also are all I have left to do. First, I got 5 kills with the machete within 15 seconds. The machete is the default slave outfit weapon, and this is very easy to do if you just spam smoke bombs and swing your machete into the enemies like a madman on heroin. I then finally got enough money in the game from the ship trading thing and was able to buy the last watch I needed. So here's the trophy from collecting all of the pocket watches in the game. I also then spent like 10 minutes straight pickpocketing people because you have to pickpocket 5,000 currency in this game, which is actually a crazy amount, but you can pickpocket people like 3 to 4 times every time, so that helps a tad bit speed it up. I then had to get 25 kills with the umbrella dart gun that the lady outfit has, and this is actually super simple to get because you can literally just stand in front of the enemies and kill their friends while staring them down in the eyes and they don't notice. Great AI, Ubisoft, great job, very observative. I then farmed Predator whip kills right after, which is one of the fastest ways to kill an enemy in this game. It's a lot like the Predator dart kills from AC3, where you hook an enemy and then just jump down, letting gravity for the most part do all of the work. So here is that trophy after getting 10 kills with this mechanic. I then reloaded a memory from earlier in the game to get a trophy here because it's the best spot, quote unquote. But you have to poison 2 people and one of them needs to be the captain, while the other is just sort of here as a distraction ploy. Also, you gotta use berserk darts for both of these people, and once the captain takes out everyone, it should be a total of 5 kills, getting the poison trophy from it. I also then just did a trophy from killing an enemy on a tree while using eagle vision and having it be from the poison darts. So there is that in addition. I then just ran into one more crocodile in the swamp because I needed to survive animal attacks still, since I didn't get enough normally, and after I did, I got the trophy, so there it is. My final trophy is then gotten from using the human shield mechanic 10 times total. This isn't a lot of Assassin's Creed games, but you pretty much just grab an enemy as the firing line is getting set up, and yeah, it's kind of brutal. But I didn't have too many more to get with it, so here's that trophy, with the platinum right after. So that was the Assassin's Creed Liberation Platinum Trophy experience. Sorry this video was super short and kind of bland, but that is basically what Assassin's Creed Liberation is, to be honest. Probably the most useless game from the Assassin's Creed universe I've ever played. It truly feels completely pointless aside from being a cash grab, being offset from AC3's hype and love. So yeah, rating it out of 10, I'm gonna give it like a 2. My brain would be better off without having to experience this trash. The only bright side was that this game was really short. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Join the Discord down below, and I'll see you all in the next one with probably more Assassin's Creed. God damn it. I hate these games so much, but I just can't even do it anymore.